This is us, the Costa group. I want to say an episode because you did the episode, so I'm just going to make up an episode number. Today is going to be number 26. It's not 50. I don't think we're at 50 as of yet. Anyways, today our guests are Kevin and Lindsay. I was going to do your last name. Done. We did the training. Let's put in that blooper of the training. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Your last name.
Koslowski.
Koslowski.
Not
See, you're
cows.
like, it's not cow.
Darn it. It is Koslowski.
All right. So, see, I butcher everybody's last name, eh? Always. So, Kevin, I know we've talked a little bit market-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you guys... Lindsay, let's rewind.
Yes.
Lindsay's new to the whole game, but she really isn't new to the game. So, Lindsay,
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about how you got into and when you got into this whole market thing, like real estate.
Probably, was it a month ago now, I feel like, but officially, like, we've been kind of working together for a couple of years because I always, I'm around with him and friends will go look at properties. I always come with him, that kind of stuff. And I've been doing all the bookkeeping and, licking envelopes when he needs me to, whatnot.
Kevin's like,
But I went on mat leave and I had time to think about my career and what I wanted to do. And, I was sitting in an office job and not enjoying it. And I know I can do so much better and more. And it just made sense that I could join someone and learn from the absolute best.
Look at that, the absolute best. So, Kevin, tell us a little bit about your business. That led into your business.
Well, I've been in the real estate game now, I think, since about 2006.
That's
right. And I've been with a few different companies. The only reason really being that I grew up in Port Dover and I started my real estate career there part-time. And I knew that I had a full-time job, and it was like that little Afghan that Nana made that I was all covered up in, and it gives you the warm and fuzzies to know you have this weekly or bi-weekly paycheck coming in. And I remember driving to work one day and thinking, what am I doing? Am I going to claw my way to middle management somewhere, or do I want to create my own destiny? And at that point in time, I started to investigate the real estate courses and whatnot, and it was just full steam ahead at that point. Then I kind of, dipped my toe in the water again for those few years until I went full time, and then it just came a time where the company that I was working for approached me, and I remember vividly, like it was yesterday. We sat down at lunch, and he said, "Kevin, you start your new territory on Monday in Windsor." And I said,
Windsor.
Yeah, wow. Windsor. And I said, no, I don't start on Monday in Windsor at all. I'm not going there. And he said, "Well, what do you mean?" And I said, "Well, I have a dog. I just can't pick up and be on the road for 3 days or 3 nights at a time." And they just said, "Well, you know what? Maybe it was time to kind of part ways at that point." And it was the perfect storm. Nice. I was ready to jump in, and I always had managers and brokers to say, "You need to be doing this full time. You got to be into it full time." And finally, I was forced into it by chance, and never ever looked back.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was just something that it was a calling for me, and something I love to do, and something I enjoy to do, and it's the best decision I think I've made, other than marrying this girl.
What? Oh, come on, your little baby. She's so cute.
Yeah, she is. Well, you know what?
So
She can be a handful too sometimes, but you know what? But we love her nonetheless, don't we?
And our other one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But she's not the challenging one. It's obviously the
baby.
2-year-old, right? That's definitely in the terrible twos right now, but we love her.
So tell me, your market, what does that look like? I know we talked about this. We were all about Port Dover. We should actually put that on the map, right? So let's give a little bit of a description on Port Dover, where it's located in this podcast. But let's talk about.
You don't even need to. I can tell you exactly. It's literally from Hamilton Mountain, you're 45 minutes due south, right to Lake Erie. And I think if you don't put your brakes on, you will literally drive into the water on Highway 6, right down to the beach. There are so many people migrating from not only Hamilton, but Oakville, Mississauga, Burlington, where they're selling high-end homes and they're looking for a more laid-back lifestyle. And Port Dover offers that with not only less expensive real estate that allows you to put. So
what are you looking at? So you're saying less expensive. What does that look like for the audience?
So if you were going to sell a house and you wanted something that was comparable in the city, you're probably looking. The average price tag when you start adding some of the stuff that's in the center of town, I call it where the locals are in Dover, and where the new development stuff is. The average sale price is under $500,000. But if you're looking for something that's a little bit more high end, you're going to be 6+. but generally less than $900,000 for sure.
So you grew up in Port Dover.
I did.
So you know Port Dover inside out.
I have played
Lindsay,
road hockey
you're-
on
you're-
every single street in that town. Yeah.
Yeah. So Lindsay, you weren't born, like, where were you born?
Pretty much I've been like Ancaster, Ottawa, like that kind of
Nice.
area actually.
Yeah.
Ottawa for many years. So
So-
I don't have that much of a network, but I've been here for almost 10 years now. So
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah.
So what does your clientele look like? What are you targeting? I know, like, people are like, well, I want buyers, sellers, new home buyers, or like, or investors, or seasonal investors, or flippers. There's always that niche market that you're looking for. What would you say your expertise lie in?
My expertise lies in, like, I don't have any specialty market. I mean,
That's awesome.
I don't think that anybody should say, hey, this is who I want to work with. I mean, obviously listings are,
Everybody wants
the listings,
yeah.
right? So it's not by means that they're any less work, because they're actually more work, but you're kind of, the sale's always going to come to you. I enjoy helping people locate or relocate into Port Dover. That's something I really enjoy doing, because
Well,
I
just
have.
coincidentally though, because Dover is such a retirement community, you
Yep.
often do deal with people who
Yeah.
are
But you would
retiring,
think,
who
like,
are downsizing.
but you would think Port Dover is like beach. That's what I think about, because
Yeah.
I go there, right, with
Yep.
my kids to the beach. It's
Yep.
the closest place next to Hamilton, but it's really, there's more to that city than just going to the beach, right?
Oh, my
Which is
goodness, yeah.
awesome to know.
The landscape is completely changed, and a lot of locals don't like change, just because they're seeing this smaller, quaint town grow into something that's a bit more robust, I guess you could say. Like,
Yeah.
it's still not. It's
The locals
it's-
don't like it.
It's
Yeah.
there's just a lot
like,
of things
they
that
don't like
change,
it.
right? Like 25 years ago, you could walk down the street and literally stop and have a conversation with everybody that walked by, because you knew who they were.
That's
It was a
amazing.
town of 3,000 to 5,000 people at the time, whereas now it has increased. Nothing huge, but there's a lot of people that people don't know. And then
Wow.
different opinions come into the mix and whatnot, and everybody seems to live harmoniously and everything jives at the end of the day. But yeah, no, it's a fantastic place to go, and it's more than just a beach town now. The dining is fantastic.
I know we talked about this.
yeah.
Yeah. So you were saying there was a specific restaurant. What do we?
So we are actually going to dinner on. Excuse me one second there. I knew that was going to happen. We are going to dinner at a restaurant that we really enjoy. It's called David's. It's right on the water.
We don't really enjoy. You've never brought me there. This is the first time he's bringing me there.
Oh,
It's back up here.
Sorry.
Lindsay just dropped that.
I thought we'd been there for drinks.
No.
No? Okay. So anyways, this is a secret to get Lindsay there, actually, so we're just dragging some clients along with us. No, we're looking forward to going there. The food's fantastic. The views are like, you feel like you're sitting on a cruise ship
Yeah, I
with
think
the
you
view.
told me this. Yeah, we talked about this.
But it is not limited to that one restaurant. There are a lot of, and you know what? There's a ton of microbreweries in that Norfolk County area,
Really?
and wineries and everything, and it is growing huge. And
And the
not just,
glamping. We did that in the summer.
yeah, we spent some time in Long Point.
There's glamping.
Yeah, Long Point Eco Adventures, it's called. It's just outside of Turkey Point, and it is a full-on camping experience where she calls it glamping, and she's not wrong. You are in a massive army-style tent with hardwood floors.
Oh, wow.
A sliding glass door, a king-size bed.
But it's
Jamie, I
also-
can go camping with that.
No,
though.
it's more importantly, it's also right next to the Burning Kiln Winery and
And the brewery,
and the brewery,
Hometown Brewery, yeah.
Hometown
Yeah.
Brewery, which is really good as well.
Yeah.
So it's like this nice little everything, and you can rent bikes and go mountain biking and things like that, and
Yeah.
zip lining too, right? We didn't do
Yeah,
that.
we
though.
didn't do any zip lining, and we tried
Seems
to do the mountain
expensive,
biking.
though.
It was,
Seems
you know what?
very
It wasn't
expensive.
crazy, but it
wasn't
was
that
hot.
bad.
It was
When
hot.
when we were there, it
It
was
was
the
a
hottest
heat
day of the
wave.
year. I remember
Yeah.
waking up in the middle of the night to get a drink of water, and looked at my thermos or my watch, and it was 23 degrees at 2:00 in the morning.
That's crazy.
Which is pretty, for nighttime usually it cools down, but it was really, really hot. But we still had a fantastic time. It was
But
great.
your office is in Ancaster,
That's correct.
right?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
do a lot of listings, buys in Ancaster as well. So
We
it's
do.
not just Port Dover. You
It's
like
about
Port
50.
Dover.
It's about 50%, I'd say, is Dover, and then the other 50 is like Hamilton, Ancaster.
Yeah, no, and you know what?
Burlington.
That's exactly what I thought. And we did some calculations, and it is starting to grow more towards the community that we live in.
Yeah.
I always thought that it was really, really super heavy into the Port Dover area, and there is a lot going on there. But yeah, no, it's either balanced or probably heading a bit more into the Hamilton, Ancaster area, which is great. But we don't mind going there. Like, my parents live there, and so anytime you go down, you can score a free dinner or lunch or whatever, and they are probably the biggest advocates for our business. So hi, Mom, and my stepdad Gord, thank you for everything you guys
That's
do for
amazing.
us.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
But so here's one of my final questions. I know you're like, don't drop any questions on me that I wouldn't know. But what would make you different, both of you now? Like your video that came out with you coming in. Like I really want to do a little bit of a clip on that with this podcast.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It caught my attention because it was very personal, right? Because I feel like my husband uses me as a personal assistant all the time. So it's kind of annoying. So I'm like, so I
You should
feel
do a video just like that too.
I know. But what makes your, now with Lindsay being added on, you're a numbers person. We talked about this.
Yeah.
What makes you like a different agent? How about that?
From everybody else?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I guess, yeah, you're right. It does come down to creative marketing. It really baffles me that agents aren't using video more. I mean, it is a double-edged sword. I mean, you're not only are you showcasing a property to the maximum ability you can, but you're also showcasing yourself. And, some people, I don't like the way I sound or look on camera, and people are going to see you, so they're going to see what you look like anyways.
Is that the picture thing that agents do? They do the picture and you're like, no, you got to change that picture. You don't look the same.
Oh yeah, no. There's a few where they definitely need to update their real estate
Your
photos.
business
But
card forever was like an old photo of you.
yeah, you know
Lindsay,
what?
you wouldn't let that live down, eh? You were like, nah, you're taking that picture down.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the separation for me is definitely. You would be amazed the amount of agents. Not necessarily. Well, there's quite a bit actually in the city too, but definitely down in the Norfolk County way too, that are still taking photography with their cell phone. And to me, that's a complete disservice to your client.
So you mean like MLS listing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go
With
online,
your cell phone?
yeah, and you're
No.
seeing pictures that are like dark and just
Stop.
they are not flattering photos at all. And with me, it represents who I am as a person as well, or as an agent, to say, you're putting trust in me to list this property, and I'm going to make sure that,
And
that I'm going to get that done properly.
And you put up the money for that. You
Yeah.
take the risk,
Yeah.
and you put up a lot of money for marketing
Yep.
and video, professional videos, professional photography. And
Yeah.
a lot of people are more shy to do that kind of stuff. And he's fine taking that risk because
Yeah.
he sees the value in it.
Well,
We
and
see
it
the
comes back
value
to
in
the
it.
double-edged sword, where you know what, it's helping me to grow my online presence as well. And I feel like social media presence is where everything is going. I mean, my parents are, I won't say their ages, but they're retired, and they are on Facebook probably more than my wife and I, and they love it. You know what? And they love to see our videos, and you see lots of different videos and stuff too that people sponsor
Sure.
and put out there, and I just think that it has a good impact. So yeah, along with that is my.
But even your expertise, Kevin.
Yes, well, that
Like-
I was just going to get to that. Is
Yeah.
that not only that, it's my follow up. Sometimes I'm
Sure.
not the guy that puts the sign on the front lawn and you don't hear from for weeks. I try to keep in contact with my clients. Like that's for me. If I was selling my property with somebody else representing us, I would want to be in constant contact to know what's going on. What are people
sure.
thinking? What are people saying? And like, how can we correct that? And some agents don't do that. And with us, I just know that people will get service, 100% service, that they know that we're not going to just be gone after we get the listing signed and only show up to put a sold sign on after that. So
You know, I never really knew that a lot of agents do that. Believe it or not, some of my clients just recently started complaining about that. But I think it's because you're right. If you showcase more on Facebook what you're offering, people that have houses listed or they're looking to buy, they're like, wait a second, that agent's doing that, yet I'm paying the same amount.
yeah.
Right? So I think, you know, it is essentially a double-edged sword. However, it puts you out on the market to show what you're offering
Yeah.
service-wise. Because yesterday, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I feel like everybody's going to comment, but there's a lot of real estate agents out there. The number I got yesterday I thought was ridiculous. I was going to do some research before this podcast. I clearly did not do that research. But anyways, let's look that up and post it up on on our video. But there's a lot of real estate agents. what makes you different?
Well,
like, you know, like
there's
that's
so
what
many real estate agents though, because there's so many people who do it part time. Like, you know,
Yeah,
when you
you're
first
right.
get into it. So like he said, he started off part time.
For sure.
So everyone can do that. You were at the KEG. Someone's like, oh, I also work for Remax, and they're a waitress. Okay, that's fine. Kevin does it full time.
Yeah.
I'm joining him full time. That's all we do. We're in a whole different level at that point.
But do people know? See, this is what I'm telling you. And we were talking about
People
this too.
don't know that.
They don't know that, right? So you're paying 2.5% or 3%, whatever essentially you're offering like package wise. And people are doing it part time. Right? Agents are doing it part time. So you don't get the follow up when your house gets listed. You don't get the follow up when you don't send the house to me telling me I want to buy this house, right? Yeah. So, you know, being full time is key
too, right? Because he's available all the time. Yeah. I know, and he knows his work is evenings and weekends. Like, this is just how it is, and we're fine with that. And his phone is always available. 10 o'clock at night last night, and he's working. And I'm completely.
And she's telling me to shut off the lights, and I said, no.
Right? I'm
turn over, and yeah, you turn over. I'm not.
And I did turn over. I was like, okay, I'll just sleep with the lights on. Like, what am I gonna do? But when you have someone who has another job on the side, how are you there if someone wants to go see a property and you're working, 40 hours?
Yeah, you see it. You see a lot of it. Maybe, and there's not. I mean, hey, we're all in this business.
You got to start somewhere.
We're all
right?
in anything in life to try and make a living and to make a good life. But when you are going to trust somebody with your biggest investment, unless you're going to buy a private jet or something like that, like, your home is going to be your biggest investment. And if you're looking for a home, and let's face it,
people.
A lot of these transactions are very time sensitive. Maybe you didn't get that house because your guy was on shift work until he couldn't get there till after 7 p.m. and you lost a house because of that.
Honestly, I think my advice or word of the day, whatever tip of the day, would be interview. Like, I really would sit down with, if I'm going to list with somebody, I'm going to sit down with them. You have a vast options, right? Yeah. So, like, we try to showcase agents and put them front and center here because we work alongside with you guys. Yeah. You guys do great for our clients, right? And we're happy with that. So, essentially just interview people.
But that's it. And you know what? I think the most important thing to realize is and I always say this, people are sometimes so focused and have every right to be focused on what they're paying somebody else
100%.
Rather than what they're getting back in return.
We get this all the time here. You have no idea, right? Yeah. It's commission.
But more importantly, I think what they should do is find somebody that you're going to enjoy working with. Mm-hmm. You'll see in my videos that I do and now that Lindsay and I do together that they always have a humorous touch to it. Funny to us anyways. And it's something that people enjoy to see. Some people I want to work with people who appreciate that kind of stuff.
For sure.
You know what? And if that means that I'm not going to get a listing with somebody because they don't like the way that I do stuff, that's okay. Because I think it's important that we find clients that we can work well with and connect with, and that makes the transaction. This is a stressful enough transaction to begin with.
You're right. You're 100% correct.
So why not have a little bit of fun along the way? And that's where, I may not take myself 100% seriously all the time, but you can bet that I take your transaction very seriously. And just as she said last night, 10:30 at night,
don't turn off the light.
We're waiting for signatures, and you know what? I'm on it. I'm there, and it's that at that point it's game face, and there's no joking at all. I just feel like with the humor, sometimes it makes people want to watch what you're going to do next. And I've walked into parties where people have said, I can't wait till your next video comes out, or like that was so funny what you did.
Yeah.
And it's just, what it is? It's me. It's just who I am.
But you had one in particular before we sign off, but you did have one about a piano.
Oh, that one's a good one.
Do you? Yeah, right?
That was one of my favorites.
See, I remember, and I'm you call me a short spam, like when I'm looking at videos, I'm like, boring, and I watched the whole thing because it was funny. Like, I find you have a dry sense of humor, and I'm all about that, right? Because it's funny. So.
And you know what? And that's the thing is that a lot of agents are doing video, and I think that's great, and I'm never knocking anybody for doing that. I just want to go one step beyond to try and not be stiff on camera to just say this home is whatever some agents say, you can just read in the description. It's right there. That's anyways. Right. I just want to do something just fun, and I saw this piano. I saw an opportunity to play some Mozart or Beethoven or whatever it was.
I don't even think you were playing, but
no, he doesn't know how to play.
We'll never tell. I will never tell.
Listen, I just want to say though, Lindsay, you're like, if you try to lie or something, she's like,
no,
she didn't.
She's the first person to call me out on anything for sure.
I'd be in big trouble with surveying if that happened.
Yeah, no, it's you know what, it's important to work with somebody that you like, somebody
That's
that you're going to
awesome.
get along with, and
I'm excited to see your videos come up. I'm excited that you guys were here. Lindsay, one more question.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Like the 30 days were what, 30 days or 60 days? How long have you been doing this?
Yeah, it's been like less than 60 days.
Yeah,
for
well,
sure.
yeah.
No, it's good. It's great. I'm enjoying the new opportunities, the new adventure, the new learning. With Remax, there's all these different courses. We're
Oh,
really
that's right.
enjoying
Who are you
them.
guys with? Yeah, that's right. Let's talk a little bit about that.
So
I'm sorry.
we are members of Remax Escarpment Realty proudly in Ancaster,
Nice.
and it was a great fit for us to make a move, and the company that I was with prior, I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about them. It was a great company. It was just, you know what, it was time for a change of scenery for not only me, but it was something that we were going to start together. So in order to learn new systems together and do things
That's
together,
awesome.
we felt that it was going to be the best fit for both of us, and it's
Nice.
been great. It's a huge learning curve, not only for Lindsay but for me too, with these new systems. But it's nice to be able to bounce these ideas off each other and everything. And you know what, we're just as human as anybody else. Like we bang heads in the office like that, and we're learning how to work together. And then at 5 o'clock or whenever the day is going to be done for us, then we go into mom and dad mode and husband and wife
Oh,
mode.
I feel your pain. Trust me.
The
You called. I think you called me 2
struggles
nights
are
ago.
real.
I'm like, my kids are gonna be screaming. So
Yeah. No, and it happens, and it's part of life. And you know what? I wouldn't change a single bit of this for anything in the world. We love what we do. We love where we are in our
amazing.
career, and I think that having Lindsay on board to work together as a team is just for me, and I believe for her as well, is to add major stability to our plan. We don't want to be going like this throughout the year. We want to go up, and we want to continue
That's
to rise.
it. That's how it works.
And we don't like the roller coaster anymore.
No,
it's
not at all.
something where we want to make sure that we're consistent all the time. And
Yeah.
and I think that's Lindsay brings a lot of structure into our business and has a major background in the insurance industry and whatnot.
That's
so
awesome.
She's got she's no stranger to she can answer a lot of real estate questions that I can't sometimes, and that's to have that that tag team or that husband and wife combo that can be there for your clients. I think it's a huge benefit to anybody who hires us for sure.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, guys, for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. So we're done for the day.
Yep.
Yeah. See, see how I did the thumbs up. That's it. It's over.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. He didn't do the neck thing
Over and
because
out.
I went. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so
Thanks,
much.
guys. Yep.
Thanks for
Great to
having
be here.